Just 8 p.m. now. Reality check. Hindul bhai, are you hear me? Hindul bhai, unmute.
Yes.
Okay, we'll start. Hello everyone and MNE professional. It's Alamgir Hossain, MEL coordinator, ABT associate and admin of Digital MEL Hub, Bangladesh. Do you really want to upward your skill and make good connection with many people around the world? Upward skill and connection is the most crucial for our profession. I believe connection is most important for career growth. Digital MEL Hub is an open learning virtual platform for solely MNE professionals, and it is my personal initiative to learn from our experts through monthly basis webinar. We will learn together as well share our knowledge and views by this platform. Anyone can share MEL documents here. Whenever you face any problem related to MNE issues, can write here. I am trying to connect all the MNE professionals worldwide via 3 social media platforms, WhatsApp, Facebook, and LinkedIn with the vision of making strong network with us. I believe everybody will learn or get benefit by this platform continuously. Our journey was started on 20 November 2021 with the webinar of sampling technique with Rafiq by K.R. Malloy. Till date, more than 500 people are connected with this platform. I'm grateful and proud all of you to be with Digital MEL Hub. I am feeling excited to share with you that we will complete total 12 webinar by 2022 as scheduled, and our number of 12 webinar will be held on 10 December 2022 with our pioneer AKM Tawfiq Aziz Bhai, Tango, Canada, on the project evaluation methodology. I want to take opportunity to give thanks to all of you, my senior, expert, facilitator, mentors, friends, and all of wishers who are giving continuous support and valuable advice to make my journey successful. It's my great pleasure that all of the amazing MNE professionals of national and international have joined today. Honorable MNE professional, it's especially great momentous to have Mr. Hindul Bog as a speaker today, and honor and grateful to him that he gives his valuable time for us from his busy schedule. Mr. S.S. Hindul Bog is an advanced expert in MEL, GIS, remote sensing, geospatial, MIS, research, statistics, informatics, social economic, and analysis and database management. He worked over 15 years with UNDP, ABT Associates, Helen Keller International, ACI Boca, and UNDER International, CLP, DFIDB, Plan Bangladesh, Save the Children, Water Aid, Practical Action, CARE, TIB, GAS, WRS, DIFAO, Dow World Peace Center as senior different position. Now he is working as MNE specialist or lead of UNDP. At academic life, he completed Master in Computer Science, Development Studies, and Agroforestry from top ranked universities. I have a small announcement. Please click the link either Facebook, LinkedIn, or WhatsApp given the chat box to be connected with Digital MEL Hub if you are not connected. For your information, today's session will be mainly application based. More sequential technical session on GIS will be held in later. There will be open discussion session in the last of the session. Thanks everyone for joining. Now it's time our respected Hindul Bhai. I am requesting to our Hindul Bhai to continue today's session on GIS application in MNE field. Over to Hindul Bhai.
Thank you, Alamgir. It is, I am audible? Alamgir, I am audible?
Yeah.
Yes, Hindul Bhai, you are okay.
Okay, thank you. It is actually the pleasure to me and also actually the good opportunity to actually share some things. I am not actually the very much experts, but I am actually the working at different places. So I actually take this opportunity to share my experience and share my some thoughts to you. If this is actually the help for you, then I will actually be the happy. Yeah. So welcome my sessions. And I actually thanks to all of the participants, my senior colleagues, my supervisor level, some are my friends, and some are my co-colleagues. So I am actually welcome to all of you to my sessions. Okay. Today sessions actually mainly actually these are the GIS applications in the MND field, MND. So I am actually saying about what is actually the MND. MND is actually the nothing things. Actually, these are actually the project management, and I actually put the one word in the left upper side. It's the WBS. These are actually the work breakdown structures. So these are actually the key things from this work breakdown structure, from this sense and the MND issues, and also these how these actually the project things or anything actually we are doing. That times we need to actually analyzing the many and actually the visualizing these things. So in this perspective, GIS is actually the very robust tools and help to actually the visualizing these things. Why actually we are actually using this GIS? GIS actually the contributing to the actually the project management or program cycle management in aspect of the total quality management decision support system. So MND actually the part, this actually the help to the actually the programs to monitor things and changes and so for these aspects, I am actually the presentations actually the build on these aspects, how GIS is contributing to MND, how GIS actually the contributing to the actually total quality management and actually the decision support system. So for the reason, I'm actually putting these things. And today, my actually the presentation is not actually the technical. So in right but actually the which content will be actually cover this these webinars. So I planned these will be covered concepts, scopes, and some experiences. So, I personally used the scope to GIS, like the different projects, like the CL.
Just a minute. Please loudspeaker and 3 horizontal row showing black color. Would you delete this? Black color 3 lines on presentation. Yes, share is out. Again black color showing. Yes, this is black color on the presentation. Yeah, out. Yes, out. Another one. Okay. And another one. Right. Below another one. Below another one.
Okay. These one actually these okay. Actually the three menu actually they come up always. One is the request. These are black. So yeah, like the 2 people entered. Okay. Okay. So these are the I will actually cover the scopes and experiences like the CLP projects. Alongit.
Okay. Carry on.
Okay. So these are the things. So now I'm going to the next slide. So our actually the MND portfolio. MND is the nothing actually the scoping the MND system build on data acquisition, the nutshell. MND is the core components, and another issues is the analyzing the data from the data come out the information and utilization and capacity buildings and contributing to the budget and knowledge management our actually the targets are these things. And another dimension MND is the value for money. For money, things the economy effectiveness. So through the GIS, we will actually ensure this how the GIS contributing to the information management, how they is using to the knowledge domains, how GIS for my analysis because the showing the effectiveness, and these are the presenting the one slide how actually this MND now actually I am actually the presenting the slide. This slide actually the saying about the informations, data, record.
Indul bhai, previous মানে কথা বোঝা যায় না কিছু।
Previous. Now I am audible.
Yes, audible. Yes.
Okay. So this previous slide I actually the briefing actually the MND issues, how these MND issues, MND main things is the actually the acquisition the data and actually the cooking the data and actually the extracting from the data is the informations and knowledge management. So and on a that for the reason we always actually the these sort of the informations like I actually the presenting at now what is actually the information data example actually the last actually the share with Excel sheet. Is this Excel sheet is the data or information? We are all are actually the expert of the MND guy. So our Excel sheet is the Excel format, and this Excel format converting to the map into GIS format. If the like these are actually the market gross informations, each row in the each markets or each row is the each beneficiary households. So it is like the thousands or 7,000 or 70,000. So these are not actually the information. These are actually the record or records. These are actually the data. So this data is not actually the good to actually the showing the report. From the data we actually the we making the because this information align with the lat long. If we actually the presenting this information into map, then it is not actually the GIS because GIS actually the geographical information systems. So my argue is that before we actually the presenting the anything into the maps, we need to actually the convert the data into the informations. So for the reason I actually the presenting these things, and later on actually the I making the maps by these sheets later of the, my presentations using many softwares like the ArcGIS, QGIS, Google Earth, Google Map, and also the Excel. So I making these maps. So in GIS, we need to actually identify the what is the actually the information, what is the record set. So these things need to actually the considered, and these things need to the identified prior before any analyzing any operation of the GIS. So these are not actually the information representation. These are actually the data representation. My next slide is the example of the informations. Like these are the different maps. So we don't need to the actually the don't need to the know or understand how to making these maps. These are very complex maps. But there below there are some things is actually representing, like these are the landslide issues or any or flash flood issues. Like in below that, like the in 80% very poor household living with low education are very risk conditions. So these informations, these are actually the mainly the informations. Like the 185 land parcels are actually the risky land parcels. this sort of the information, if we are presenting in the map, then this map we may call is actually the GIS based map. So my opinion is that like that, like they are actually like the landslide is the occurred like the 300 meters heights. They are actually the landslide occurred. These are actually the informations, or these are the maybe the knowledge. These will actually help to the actually the next program planning or next level. So this sort of the information we need to extract through the GIS process. And also maps, when actually we are presenting, that times we need to actually present these sort of the some actually the action plans or some recommendation on the basis of the analysis, like the reduce the human interventions or cover crops or zone planning or forecasting uses, these sort of the or spatial and temporal validations need to actually the consider. So this sort of the information and knowledge or something need to actually the presenting the actually the GIS based presentations, because I saw in my last a couple of years many of us we actually the thing we may actually be showing just let along in the map. These are called actually the GIS analysis. And sometimes we actually only the colored the some polygons areas like the some district, there are the working area, there are the some things we may call these are actually the maps and GIS maps. These are not the GIS maps. These are actually the data representation. These are not informations. These are not actually the knowledge. So I actually the presenting these two slides about my previous slide. If this sort of the map actually the data representations, but in actually the reader, any of us, everyone actually the interested to know the actually knowledge or informations. Okay, so now actually the I am actually the saying the issues of the information domain. What is the informations and what are the actually the information typology of the informations and how relation of the information into GIS. Because in GIS, in I came from the information domain. So information processing is the different sorted of the informations, like the transaction informations, OPC automation, knowledge-based information, MIS also the informations domain, decision support system information, executive support system. And I put the double star into the actually the two levels, like the DSS and ESS. In actually the managements and informations domain, there are the two upper things. They are actually the strategic directions, like the decision support system and ESS. So GIS actually the contributing to the this level, like the by providing the different sort of the. So G means actually the geographic and I mean information and systems. So geographic, what do actually mean by the geography in actually the earth, in actually the geography, but
শব্দ শোনা যাচ্ছে না, not hearing. হিন্দুল ভাই, we are not hearing.
input. Alamgir, I am audible. Alamgir.
Clearly.
আমি নেটওয়ার্কের বাইরে চলে গেছি ভাই।
Okay. So our actually our actually the journey start from the actually the data. Now actually our traditional M&D actually we collecting the data from the data actually the extracting the some information by analyze some statistical analysis, some planned analysis. But when actually we are using the maps, many of people now actually we using the data representations of the geographic data representations, not we using the actually the informations. Like the 17 growth centers or 27 growth center or 27,000 households or 27,000 community clinics or 27,000 these service points. If we actually the projecting the map, these are not actually the information, these are just for data. So these things, and why actually I am actually the presenting these things, because they are actually the information and wisdom domain. They are actually the two part. One part actually the prediction domain. These are the upper part, and lower part is these are the descriptive part, actually describing things. And actually the prediction part actually the dealing the why questions. So when actually the anything we are presenting the maps, that times anyone can actually the analyzing, and anyone can explain why these things happened, why they are actually the water, why they are actually the market is the very vibrant, why there is the why this reason is the COVID more success, why this area is the low. So these sort of the things actually came out, actually the predictions and these technical know-how. These so mainly in knowledge is the two part. One part is the like the tacit, one part is the explicit. So this tacit part is actually the internalizations. So map is the tools. These tools easily anyone can internalize it, internalizing like my previous. If this map actually when I actually showing, I said it these maps from the actually the Ukraine crisis. So all participants here, everyone actually internalizing. Oh, that the path, maybe that this path is the triangle, this path is the very round path, and the long, so easily can understand. So these things. And another thing is that GIS also dealing the wisdom, and GIS is dealing the lives and livelihoods, all elements. Lives and livelihoods elements. What are the elements of the lives and livelihoods? Lives and livelihood elements are the human, land, air, rain, water, road, railway, livestock, animal, water, phenomena, economic phenomena, weather, climate, market, supply chain, plant kingdom, space, time, content, and forms. So all are actually the living plants, elements, actually the plants of the earth, plant of the geographic or geo. So all components are able to actually consider actually when actually we are actually operating the GIS. And what is so GPS? GPS is the global positioning system. GPS is the key things. These are actually lead the GIS. Like we are using the mileage, the kilometer far from the capital to the another city. Like in 1,000 years ago, actually the birds to actually convey our letters information to the another part to another parts. Like in when actually the winter came in the western part, that times birds are some places. So they using some actually the electromagnetic in their minds. So these magnetic field actually identify which are actually the north, which are the left, right, upper corner, this corner. So these actually the magnetic field, and like many movies using there's actually the love letter actually the carrying by the birds. We are actually saying actually the many ways. So GPS is not actually the new things. GPS actually these modulations means actually the magnetic things, and these the electromagnetic fields. These are actually the identifiable, and these are the traceability. So these are naturally these are actually in the different mindsets. So these things now actually from the chips, we actually put those chips into our different devices. Maybe the GPS machines, maybe our actually the mobile devices, maybe our actually the computers. So GPS is nothing. GPS means actually the global positioning systems. This positioning system actually trace and acknowledge these are actually the real positions. So these are actually the GPS. And GIS depending upon the deep value addition services. And GIS actually the managing the knowledge and wisdom managements. And I put here actually the topmost actually the no free. So if we are actually the committed and want to actually the using the GIS issues, we need to allocate some money, some process, some resources, but maximum are actually the thinking it is very cheap because Google Map is the easy, anyone can showing the Google. So when actually analyzing the different, at times no data is the free in the world. So in GIS analysis and GIS using actually the need to, or actually the different value addition services. Like if we want to actually the collect the boundary, then actually we need to actually the purchase the boundary data. If we want to collect the rain, so we need to collect the rain data. If we want to collect the market, then to collect the market position data. So different of the things. So these are the value addition services. Like actually when actually the harvested this popcorn price is the 5 taka, but when actually these are the roasted and fried, these are the 20 takas. So obviously in GIS, if we actually the plan to using the GIS, we need to actually invest the money. Without the resources, without the money, without the expert, without the capacity, it is not possible. So obviously we need to actually this value addition services. And what are actually the geographic information system? Actually, the geographic information system mainly actually the need some technical issues like the encoding. Encoding means actually the all should be aligned with the spatial data. Like we are actually the and everyone we are when actually the project we actually doing the household census. During the household census, we go to the households and we collect the different information, household head names, say there, blah blah blah, many things. But these are not actually the spatial data. These are the non-spatial data. But when actually we actually collecting the spatial data, like he said his household. These are the households. So these are the households. So they are household catalogs. If we collecting their schools, then which road they are actually using. Like someone said we using this road. Someone said these are actually the river. So for the reason we actually and with community clinics. So maybe the 2 community clinics. One community clinic actually the 2 kilometers far, another community clinic maybe the 5 kilometers far. But when actually do you asking, do you go to the community clinic? Yes, which community clinic? They said maybe the 5 kilometers far. 5 kilometers far because they are at the road connectivity. And why they don't actually the going to the 2 kilometers far? These are there may be some hills, some maybe the rivers or canals. So when actually this sort of the information we will actually aligning and encoding with this non-spatial data, that time this data will help you to actually analyzing the geodic information systems. So data management and analyzing this way. And GIS have decision support systems. So in GIS using the different things like the human dimensions, like the population, health, technology, things easily we will actually using the GIS. And human impact, environmental changes, and routine monitoring. So these things, and now I am actually keeping the one definition from the USAID. These definitions I actually got from the one training from the USAID actually 10 years ago. Like what is actually the geospatial analysis? Geospatial analysis is the nothing. This is the combination and examine of the maps and these geospatial analyzing using for actually the program planning and decision making. If this data is not considered, if this information is not considered in the program planning or decision making, then this GIS is not actually the contributing to the analysis. And for GIS, actually the use actually the computer-based system, these things. And why? And there are actually the some actually the pictures, like in many projects we have the indicators like the X kilometer of road improves, like the food for peace projects. They actually the contributing the lots of the cash forward. So they build on the roads. So how many kilometer roads? So maybe the some projects say the 2 kilometers, some projects say the 200. Is this kilometer road is the actually right or wrong? Maybe this kilometer of the roads when actually the any project partners build on the 200 kilometer road. Maybe they actually the road and the report in the 200 kilometer road, but they build on the 150. So it is not possible for during the DQA. It is not possible measuring by the tape 200 kilometer road. Yeah. So if we using the GIS and we giving these maps and this information we are uploading into the actually the Google's or OpenStreetMap, then easily we will actually say, okay, these are the actual these things. So by GIS we will actually the improving our actually the data qualities issues. And another thing is that like the number of the hectares, these are number of the hectares of the land improves. Like in working in that like the around the 15 to 20 projects. So there may be the 1,000 hectare of the lands. Suppose every project said we are actually the putting the 800 into the lands. So if this project is the 10 project, so 10 into 800, 8,000. But they are actually the absolute land is the 1,000, but when actually we are claiming individually, we are individually claiming the many. So when this information we claiming the donor to the internationally, that times if this donor is the USAID or DFID, at times this number is not actually the valid. So if we using the actually this sort of the geotagging hectare coverage information, then we will actually easily communicate to the government or others. We will really improving these areas. So for this reason, if we actually embedding these things, it is very helpful. Another thing is that many projects establish a different structure. Some projects establish the cyclone shelter, some of the market collection centers. They are putting these sort of the things. Yeah. So these maps or geo-embedded information help to the performance and as decision making. Like these maps present actually the Ukraine crisis. How actually the Russia are actually attack the Ukraine, which side and why this side? Because these are actually the one river. This river actually divided to the Ukraine in the east and west part. So they are actually interested only the east part, not actually the west part, because they only because Russia only they want to actually to enter in this actually when actually so when we are hello, I'm audible. Hello.
Yes,
hello?
yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay. When actually we are actually imposing this information into the map, that times we are actually taking this information to our actually the decision making, and this information turn into actually the knowledge, and these knowledge once upon actually converting into actually the wisdom also. So these are the very crucial things. Another thing is that these maps, actually some African country, maybe these maps, like the where actually the facilities this way. So these information we easily protecting. And now another these slides actually I actually bring this information from the one USAID presentations when actually I actually learn from them how actually the GIS are using the MND systems. These are the performance monitoring GIS using the in MND cycle using the where these GIS equally the integrations. So these are the monitoring and evaluation cycles. Another is the impact. During the impact evaluation, how the GIS will be actually used. I shared these things to you that because I learned the previous, it will maybe the help to you. So I actually the copy and actually the just saying you like that in monitoring evaluations, like the identify the indicators and MND plan PRS, all of like here actually the GIS issues, like the when actually the collecting the data, that time is special type of the data collections. Like when actually we collecting the baseline, that times not only the collecting the information of the household GPS, these are not help you to the making the GIS analysis, because you actually the asking the households what is your age, where you actually the grown your actually the crop field, where you go to the your community clinics, or where you go to the markets. So everything you actually the asking them to the special dimensions. If we actually the collecting this sort of the special dimension information and embedded we collecting, then it will help you to analyzing the GIS based analyzing. Other than only the lat long, it is not possible to analyzing on the later on stage to use your actually the GIS analysis. So integrations in the MEL GIS is a very crucial. And another thing is that impact, like the baseline design, obviously you using the GIS concepts. And when actually the any tools developments templates, that times you must be actually the standardized and placing the information collection, geo-embedded informations. So when actually these maps we will actually the preparing and we go to the field, any illiterate people, any age, like my child age is the now actually the 13. He easily understood and he easily actually explained the maps. These maps, this side, these are the river, these things. If I actually the using the different symbol, he easily understood. Okay, these are the very gray, light, and these are the deep. So these are the more these. So these are the less. So these sort of the things easily. So before after actually the changes, because our MND people main responsibility is the visual changes. What was the actually the before and what are the actually the our interventions on after now? What are the actually the changes is that happens? So these sort of the changes things will easily visualize through the GIS. It is not possible actually the easily visualize through the charts, graphs, and tabular data. So any GIS analysis, before GIS analysis, you need to actually develop the usual frameworks, modelings, or factor analysis, machine learning. So these sort of the things you need to actually the thinking prior before the GIS analysis. Now actually I am bring the some examples like the every project have the mandate to reduce the susceptibility, to reduce the vulnerability, to contribute to the different impacted. Yeah. So that times you need to actually you set your some issues. So these are maybe the variable or these maybe the some domain. So you need to actually the collect and you need to actually the plan this sort of the some framework development. If you don't actually these framework developments prior your baseline or during the your project planning stage, you cannot be able to collect the data appropriate manners. Like these are maybe the some issues. For some issues perspective, actually the making this sort of the conceptual framework, which conceptual actually the covered the natural factors, human factors, and like the natural factors, climatic factors, rainfall, like the 50 years rainfall, or soil, geology, or stream, slope, elevations. Like the human factors like the agriculture, intensity, land filling, land cutting, therefore removing these things. And population dynamics like the education, economy, and density. This conceptual framework should be developed during the planning stages or before the data collections tools developments. If you don't actually this sort of the conceptual framework, if we could not actually the planning, or we could not actually the chalk out, then we will not able to actually the making the appropriate GIS sensitive tools. Like my in previous slide, here actually the many part they are actually the scope to using the GIS, but for that reason you need to actually develop this sort of the conceptual framework. Another frameworks like many projects have the many projects have the actually the target this sort of the taxes. Like some projects mandate is the fish culture site development. Some projects have the mandate actually the site development of the livestock rearing, or some projects have the mandate to the milk collection point establishment, or some projects have the some demo plot selections. So where actually this sort of the potential site will be the most feasible, most suitable, it should be analyzing before the intervention started. Like one example, actually here I am saying like the tilapia culture potentiality. So for the maybe the chalk out the some domain needed to the consider, like the water domain, soil domain, communication domain, market domain. When actually this domain we are actually the analyzing, like the soil domain needed the soil pH and these soil pH and land types. When actually the communication and infrastructure domain, that times we consider the many things like the electricity, kacha road, railway, and paka road, or highway. When actually the support needs, what type of the support? Support needs maybe the government support, maybe the UN support, maybe the BRAC support, maybe the NGO support. So these sort of the some analysis, and some criteria you need to actually the fixed. So if we are fixing this way, and on after that you actually the collecting the data, after that you are able to actually making these sort of the nice maps. Like these maps, green color is a very suitable area. This area, if we actually establish the tilapia culture or fish culture or shrimp culture or livestock rearing or milk side, it will actually help to this way. Like this black part or moderate, red color is the moderate. So by this way, you actually able to actually making this sort of the maps. This map, when actually you actually making this map, that when you actually planning this sort of the information channeling. Like these are the another conceptual framework, like the flash flood model or landslide model. Yeah. So this model, when actually the analyzing this sort of the conceptual frameworks and modeling, that times you need to actually need to take help from the softwares. So now in market have the lots of the software like the GIS, QGIS, Super Maps, Google Maps, many softwares. But these modeling processing facilities at now actually exist in the ArcGIS. For that reason, if we actually analyzing this sort of objective actually the model, you should actually obviously using the ArcGIS. If you actually only the presenting or visualizing the maps, you may use any softwares like the QGIS, any software. But when actually you need to actually analyzing these models and how influential these things, how the different sort of the statistical analysis. That times you should actually the ArcGIS is the very suitable. I am not actually the advocating the ArcGIS. At now, ArcGIS actually the saying only the where which facilities. And these models have follow the different methodologies. Here actually I give you the many methods like the SAM smart SAM method, a VCOR method, TOPSIS method, TOPSIS method, or DEX method, or IDAS method, many method. I actually mentioned the different methods. It is not possible by this 1 or 2 hour session. My intention is that if I giving this actually the name, you may actually using this name into the Google. So Google you help you the lots of the resources, like what do you mean by IDAS, vertical hierarchy. So for the reason, I am actually just sharing you the different methodologies. These are the very, these all are very actually the good methodologies for actually the decision making methodology. Easily we using the actually the GIS model building, and by this model, many good papers, good journals are available in the web. So I am actually sharing just these informations to you. Maybe it will actually help you who are actually interested to actually the more investment by yourself to actually the build on your actually the GIS thinking. Like now I am actually saying the some maps, like these maps showing the 552 landslide area. These maps showing 562 landslide area, and out of the 552 landslide, 71% landslide actually occurred in the 5 degree of the slope. When actually we consider the elevations, that times we found actually the 652 landslide. So how this information we collecting? We collecting only the inventory making of the historical landslide, only the asking the people where actually the occurred or where actually these things occurs. But so, and when actually we are considering the all things, that times we actually came out only the 337 landslide area. These are actually the main vulnerable area. So if we only the peoples and only by and on after that we are actually going to our intervention, that time this intervention costing will be high, actually the actual double. So my thing is that why actually I am presenting these two slides because instead of the 652 we are actually came out actually the 137 landslide area. So it is help to us to actually the value for money. So value for money is our actually the main concern issue. So for the reason we need to actually making this sort of the actually the without we doing or running any models on model verification or analyzing, we may create the burden of the implementation burden. Like if we addressing this 652 area to mitigate the measures and formation of the groups, training the peoples and giving them money, it will obviously double to the instead of the 300. Yeah. And another thing is that just not only this area, on after that, when actually you analyzing this area spotting, that times you should actually extracting the information how much people are affecting, how much household are affecting, so information should be presenting the maps. When actually you actually presenting the maps, these maps are actually represent as a GIS product. If we just actually presenting the lat long and color without the information of the human, without the information the lives and livelihoods, like the households and others. So these are not the GIS based, like these maps, full maps. These are not actually the informations. Information is that in the bill, 32% population is the very poor who are living these areas, and 9% population is the poor. Those rich areas, like the and now another thing is that like a project have the VFM means actually the value for money. EMMP means environmental mitigation monitoring plan. EIA, environmental assessment. SIA, social impact assessment. Every project actually they invested the money for actually the specific purpose, but every project have the one mandate to the actually the sustainability, to retaining the environment, to retaining the social cohesion, so retaining the social cohesiveness. For the reason we should actually the using the GIS, like in my actually the left maps, these are the asset transfer or grant transfer or demo for the like the in pin symbol. These are the cash forwards. These are the cash forwards. Is the green points. They are actually the cash forwards that happens. These cash forwards actually mainly the creek developments. So creek developments actually for the reason we need to actually identify the low and valley, like in Kunla and Satkira area. This area may be the some embankment. So where will actually the invest the money to the actually the road construction or reconstruction? These are the feasible for the road construction, or these area instead of road we may actually the invest the money for the like the bridge construction. These are the bridge is the effective or road is the effective. If the water flow area, then we should not actually the invest the money for the road construction. We actually the using the like the bridge. So this sort of the things we may actually the find out through the GIS, because GIS considered the actually the not only the line, point, polygon, it also considered the water flow, it also considered the gradient of the soil, it also many things. When actually the rain is happening, how actually the water is the stagnant or water is the washout, what is the outlet, what is the inlet, these sort of the things considered. So before the any sort of the things like the demo settings or grants, we actually giving the grants or demo like the we giving the some of the demo plots like the vegetables demo plots, where it is actually the feasible. So like the beside the roads, it or front of the house or back side of the house or side or actually it is beside the markets or beside the main roads, many things. So we may consider. If those sort of the things are considered, and on after that we may actually the calculating and analyzing, we can actually easily find out they are actually the possibility the good actually the sites. So for the reason I am actually the putting giving you those examples. Another thing, the performance measures. Many health projects actually the facility to the governments to like the vitamin A supplementation intakes. So every project actually the showing the maps. We actually the covered this area, but cover and coverage, these are not same things. Coverage means the some are the denominators, some are the numerators. Like the we have the like the 26 district or sub-district areas. Sub-district areas, how many child, how many childs are actually getting the vitamin A. Like the X1000, X1000, X, Y, ABC. So this 1000 of the intake, these are not actually the information. These are actually only the data. When we are actually the thing, okay, 1000 children taking the 1000 children taking the vitamin A, and total children is the 10,000, then we may say actually the 10,000 coverage. So where cover is the low and where cover is. So this sort of the things we may actually the presenting on after every project actually doing same things. Yeah. This. So we may consider many things like the soil information and structural issues and roads issues. So for the reason I am actually saying this, like the land use, like the where is the river, where is the vegetations, where is the cultivated land, where is the uncultivated land, where is the forest land, where is the build. So like some projects actually the dealing projects and education projects said that we don't need actually the land use maps. So because we are not actually the livelihood projects, obviously education project also needed to the actually the land use maps, because education project, the children going to the schools, going to the schools, during the going to the school, they using the land, they using the roads, they using the rivers, they using the boards. So so for this reason, every project have the scope to use the every information based on their actually the conceptual framework how these things happen, like the water flow directions. And another thing is that like the change detections. Change detections means that actually that like these maps. These maps in the one area maps, these maps it is the conditions. In 2000, what are the conditions? And 2010s and 2000 conditions mean that how the actually the barren land increases, how the agricultural increases, how the moderate vegetation increases or decreases, how the dense vegetation increases or decreases, how river are filled, like in these maps they are limited actually the black spot, but in last map there are the many black spot. Black spot means actually the build up area. So this detection, by these change detections or remote sensing, easily can measuring the each inches of the lands, like tables. These tables actually the kilometers, moderate, how much agricultural land or build up area. So the GIS have the functionalities, GIS have the strength to analyzing and actually the computing the everything actually by the absolute figures. And for the reason we need to actually use the GIS. Like in machine learning. In machine learning, like the population is the increases. So population increases, population occupying these is the land. And land when actually the occupying, then all altering increases, like the people are actually the deteriorating land, people are actually the dig out the land, people are actually the fill out the open water resources. So by this way and increase the surface area and infiltration. So for the reasons by this way, like my one example, I am actually saying that when actually I am actually the working the ABT associates in the Bangladesh Nutrition Project, that times I found in the Khulna Dumuria market, some milk collectors said me that they actually losing they losing their money during the summer period. This during the summer period they collecting the milk from the village and they bring this to their one collection from Dumuria huts, and due to the temperature they are fermented and they are actually the milk. Then different modern issues. Like now actually the modern issues is that like the IoT and AR. Many of you know these actually the term integrated of the thing, augmented of the reality. What are the things? Like here actually
Sorry, bhai, we can't hear you.
Yeah. Hello.
We can hear you.
শোনা যাচ্ছে ভাই, শোনা যাচ্ছে।
শোনা যাচ্ছে।
Okay.
Yeah, actually, I am showing you the one systems. These are the offline and online MIS systems. If offline and online MIS system embedded with the GIS technology, like then like here actually we put giving there actually the one sanitary lead key. When actually we giving the putting the information against this household, they are actually the one sanitary latrine or one tube boil. That times we easily visualized maybe the beside his households or his households or beside his neighbor household have the one tube boil. Maybe this tube boil established other project, maybe the 10 years prior. We may see this thing.
হিন্দুল ভাই,
Yes.
অলরেডি 1 ঘন্টা হয়েছে। ওপেন ডিসকাশনের আগে ম্যাপটা একটু দেখায়েন, রিয়েল ম্যাপ, ওই যে ডাটা দিয়ে।
Okay, so for the reason we need to actually using the real-time MIS. So these are some examples like maps, areas, and this map easily showing some spatial arrangement and temporal sequence. Map able to actually visualize these things like the Bangladesh. These are the Bangladesh map satellite images. The land area, increase the land area and soil deposition in the sea. So it is easily actually we visualized through the visual. So by this way we understood that where actually the new land we actually gain. And like now one actually the chore, one actually island they are actually created, and one refugee camp built on this area. So by this way we may easily actually see where the possibility, where is the scope, many things. Like these are actually the chore land, different chore lands. So like the one actually the CLP projects, like the CLP project phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4. Phase 1, the yellow is their area. Yeah. So this area is covered phase 1. These are the phase 3. These are the phase 4. So easily we are understand how actually the investing is happened, and when investing in the happened, and where investing is the happened, and what extent is the happened. So these sort of the spatial arrangement and temporal sequences we may easily through the GIS maps. Unlike these below maps is like the COVID. These COVID maps showing there's where actually the more COVID, like the cold area or hot area, and meridian or south part, upper part, or left or the east part or western part. These sort of the things we understood. Yeah. So so map can give us the idea the trend of some spatial arrangement and temporal sequences. Okay, like the routine monitoring. In routine monitoring, GIS can help you. Like these are the flood. When actually the flood is inundant, that times daily actually during the flood times we may visualize where which household and where actually the devastating occurs. Like these are the cyclone tracking. These are the routine monitoring in the ABT project, in the Bangladesh Nutrition Project. These are the different 3 districts. They are actually working, and they are markets, and they establish the hand washing station during the COVID. That times which markets using the most using the hand washing station, it can easily visualize like these area maybe they're using most hand washing. These are the less, and these dark and these green color, different color. 2 color is the 2 different issues. Like the one color hard day and non-hard day. When actually the people and these more and non-hard day. Like some markets by this way, actually, we may easily some routine monitoring issues, actually, the visual through the GIS. In designing phase, like the prevalence of the stunting and wasting. So where actually the which district are actually the undernourished, and if this district is undernourished, so when actually this map is zooming in the sub-district level or upazila level, that times we show that these are not dark. They are actually the some sub-district or upazila is the some actually the less dark, some are the dark. So we may actually use this information to our actually the project intervention area selections. So by this way, we may actually this. And another issue is that like this implementation planning. During the implementation planning, we need to collect the different information like the health facilities information, education, seed distribution points, or market locations. Yeah, like I am actually presenting the one video like how GIS is like the seed distribution points. Through the seed distribution point, actually the giving the people to the seed. So I am actually seeing this actually this video for you, just actually the sensitize you. GIS products not only for actually the map level. GIS may using your actually the different communications documentary also. So these are also actually the very suitable for actually the convincing to the actually the audience through internalizing this way, where we are actually the distributing seed many things. Integrations like in qualitative informations, like in now in my actually the present projects, some qualitative information. These maps actually the built on by non-GIS peoples. They are our one actually our qualitative teams. We have the one quality team. These quality teams and they consist of the all are actually the anthropologist domains and social domains. They are not actually the quantitative domains. They are making this sort of the maps. These maps mainly the actually the drug and they are actually the some law and order issues. So they collecting the information from the different qualitative sources, like the papers this way, like that these maps in the election violences. These maps is the drug issues, where which type of the drug and when which type of the drug is the found. This sort of the so my intention is that presenting this slide is that GIS not only that dealing the quantitative data, GIS also have the scope to using the transformation of the qualitative information into maps. Like these also the election violence, where actually the showing boards and where actually the or where actually the BNPs, how they are actually conflicting. If this sort of the maps we may actually the making, it will help with the reducing the different violences during the period of. There are the some examples, some water inundant these things. I'll actually give these all slides. So this slide is will help you to give the idea what type of the map we may actually the producing these things. Alongit, I need to make 7 minutes finish this. Yeah, okay.
Yes. Before open discussion, please how to create map by Excel, ArcGIS, or QGIS.
Okay. Some geospatial analysis, and output sharing example, these things like in Bangladesh now, the Bangladesh or global, they have the different documents like the district wise some atlas or district wise disaster atlas or national wise atlas. These information is available, or Bangladesh geocode published 2017 through the geocode. This year Bangladesh will actually collecting the information next month in the national census. It happened in the next month of this year 2022. So for the reason we actually this time they're using this sort of the geocode. So if you interested, you may actually browse the different sources, only the Googles, and Google can help you giving these books or information. Ground truthing is the main things. If we actually making any maps, before actually sharing these maps any forum, you should actually ground truthing. Like we making the maps. After that, again go to the communities and community will validate. When after the validate, on after that we may actually the sharing this map to the others. Otherwise, it will not actually the right to the share. Like these maps, on schedule, the defecting and no activities. So every project have the different activities. So where actually the perform happen, where perform not happen, this sort of the map, if you to the will help to the management to the making the decisions. So these are one examples. And another example is the intervention efficiency. Every project have the different stuffs in the community levels. Like the field facilitator, they are actually the livelihood domain and community health worker. So everyone actually the working the same villages or same unions. So how they are actually the look after the groups, which groups they are far from the different area and how they're integrated. So now in this moment, if we actually using this sort of the MIS, like the web-based MIS or tabular MIS or Excel-based MIS, these MIS cannot actually help you to the giving the idea, the integration of the staff in the community level is the happened or not. So where and how dispersed the staffs, how their coverages, how the intervention efficiency. For the reason we may using this intervention efficiency maps, making the because our field deploying every frontline, how they are actually working, how they are integrated each and others or between the other groups. So by this way, we may this sort of the maps. Like the agriculture productions, like the every project we say the X% of the household at the hectare of the land actually the producing these agricultural. So if we actually the collecting their land, we actually the we embedded this information into our MIS, then we are able to say actual land is the this. Yeah. So like which household actually the Zoom cultivations, like the 500 hectares, 5,000 hectares of the lands under the Zoom cultivation. Where the Zoom cultivation lands and who are their household. So this sort of the analyzing, you may actually the projecting. If you are actually the database in relationships and database maintaining the good MIS database with actually the encoding with the special information, like the coverage information. These are the community clinics, how much actually the village or household is the 1 kilometer, how much household is the 2 kilometer. In red colors means actually the 5 kilometer far from the service points. So this sort of the geospatial analysis you may actually the doing. On after that, where the red color, they are actually the you may actually the giving your project intervention like the satellite clinic or send to the other or more investment. Rather these closest catchment. So like the drinking waters, which household is using the surface water, which household is the unprotected dark oil, which household is stream water, this sort of the wash like the disaster, these things. And like these are the maps and disaster related, like the in community community consultation through the FGD, many disaster interventions, and people say we may we want to actually make the canals, to make bridges. Like here the picture when actually these groups said they want to actually cut this hill this to this area, because they said if when actually the current is the flow this way during the rainy period, that times many actually the erosion is occurred. So they want to actually changes the path. This path, if the changes this path, then they will actually gain this land, also reducing their vulnerability to this area. So if these things actually the analyzing and actually the explain the actually the written report, these are not actually the internalizing easily. When this information put into the GIS maps and real maps, the management can easily understood and management can it will help to the management to taking the appropriate decisions. So GIS do those sort of the things. And another thing is that maximum projects and mainly collecting is actually the social map before the project, and on after that when actually the social map is the conducted, after that all maps are the bunching and actually and throwing into their warehouse or storeroom. They are not using. So it is possible to converting these hand map to the actually the special maps. Like these maps, it will actually if you actually the converting your actually the social brown map into the special map, that times you are able to use those information in your app. So they are actually like giving you the some special, non-special information sources. You may actually browse those link. This link help you to getting the some data or some information. These are informations. And now these are the issues is that how we will actually using the GIS. So GIS is a very vast area, but in basic things is that if you want to use the GIS, you need to know these sort of the softwares like the ArcGIS, QGIS, Supermap, IDRAS, R, Excel, SPSS, Strata, and Power BI. These software maybe help you to analyzing the GIS based analysis. And another thing is that so software tools and resource, these are actually the this part only the your 30%, and 70% is your actually the people's means actually the your capacity, your cognitive thinking, your analytical thinking. These are the most important rather than the software, rather than the tools. So software part is the only the 30%, the 30% weightage of the GIS, and 70% weightage other than the softwares. So these within the software, you need to know some basic things. If those things you know, then you will able to making the some maps from your Excel sheet like that. So for that reason, you need to know the installation. You need to know the editing, how editing. You need to know the referencing, projection, selection, symbology, topology, attribute. What is the attribute? What is the feature? Buffer, union, merge, dissolve, join, import, export, overlay, layer, and metadata management and create feature. There may be actually the 20 actually the word I am actually the right here. If these 20 word help you to build you actually the hello. No, okay. Okay, GIS will learn. So these things depends.
Me put it in the document folder here.
Alamgir.
হ্যাঁ ভাই বলেন।
Yes, sir.
My presentation is the
Okay, on and hover, so you can create a map.
And Alamgir requested me to actually showing the maps. Okay, showing the maps, and for that reason Alamgir actually provide me some informations like that way.
আলমগীর ভাই একজন মিউট আনমিউট আছে, ওনাকে মিউট করে দাও।
Jesus Christ, yeah, I'm that's out of me. I'm gonna go out to
Good.
Oh, no, yeah. Huh? Hey.
Alamgir. Okay. So Alamgir actually requested to actually showing that on maps. So for that reason, Alamgir actually provide me this Excel sheet. Okay. So from this Excel sheet, I actually cleaning these Excel sheets. I clean these Excel sheets and making the and how I am cleaning. I am not actually the demonstrating these things, but on the basis of that, I am actually the making these sheets on the basis of the Alumgis. These are the 27 gross centers lat longs. These are the lat longs, and these are the serial numbers of the lat longs. Serial numbers mean the IDs, and one ID means that these are the another sheets. There another sheet is the one means these gross centers. So by this way, I actually the making the Excel sheets. So on after that, if you actually the when you want to do the making the maps, you have the this sort of the informations like the some lat long and some non-special informations. And if you have this sort of the information, that times you need to actually the bring those lat long into your GIS. I now actually using the ArcGIS. These are the ArcGIS. I am actually these are the adding the data. After the adding the data, these are the information, the Excel information. After that, these informations I actually the transfer into the special information. So by this way, if we actually when actually the displaying XYZ, because now I am aligning the lat long, like the X means the longitude and Y means the latitude. If we actually the transferring by this way, and sorry. Okay, so this map is Docker. Okay, so so by this way we may transfer this information into the here, and
We are not listening to you.
okay, no. Okay, these are the maps. Okay, so Alongir provide me the 27 growth centers. So these growth center informations I actually the transfer into the ArcGIS. So these are the and one point very far from this. So they are the error of the Alongis data. So why I'm not why I was not actually corrected this. I correct because Alongir send me the Excel data. These Excel data, these lat long information not collected the GIS, not collected maintaining the protocol of the GIS, because he putting the informations by your hand. That for the reason he actually the putting the 86 degree instead of the 89 degree. These are the typo. If he actually the giving me the informations of the GPS information, automated GPS information, that times it was not actually happens. So for the reason I am actually showing this error. So never actually the using the entry information, like actually the entry by yourself. Obviously, GIS lat long data should be collected through the GIS protocol and automated. Like if you actually giving the one field and field type is actually the text, and you actually the put is the 1.1. 1.1 is not actually the your float data or numeric data, because this field is the text field. Same things is happens. So this sort of the error is you actually the found if you actually the putting the information by your hand. Okay, so these are the point data, and on after that where these are they are actually the district information. These are the Bangladesh all district. So all district. And where this district data is that came from? This district data is the available in the free in the web. Free in the web, like these are the Diva GIS. If you only in Google search the Diva GIS, you may showing these this. That they are actually the all country of the world, like the Afghanistan, Angola, these things are Bangladesh. Okay, if Bangladesh, they are the lots of the data, like the roads, railway. These are the free data, but these data is data only for actually the training purpose, not using your actually your purpose, because they are the lots of the error. Yeah, there are lots of the error. So from there I actually collecting this boundary data. Another boundary data source is these are the global another boundary data freely available in the global administrative boundary. If you searching the global administrative boundary, these are the one there is the country. So from those web I collecting this free data. These point data I actually given from the Alongis, and the country boundary and district boundary data I collected from the websites. Okay, so these things and these are the their working area, these ABD project working area. So Alongis said me that making this sort of the maps and coloring these coloring means actually if here actually going to the properties, and you symbolized, if you symbolized so different district have the different colors. So if colors by this way, selecting this way, and you may easily different colors. And another thing is that there on after the color you may actually going to the labeling and another issues. Which district is the which name. So these are the labeling issues. So by this way, you may map the maps, and when making the maps, you may only export. If you export, then JPG. If you file the JPG, then easily can export. So this map I by the ArcGIS and QGIS. These are the QGIS and QGIS similar things in QGIS. Similar things like similar maps. These are the district boundary. These are the all Bangladesh boundary. These are the point. Okay. So these are the districts. So layer. Okay. And district bound. Yeah. So the projection by this way. So these are the Excel. So sorry, these are the QGIS. So QGIS have as like actually the same type of the functionalities everywhere. And another thing is that how these maps will be able to showing in Excel. Like in Excel. And these things. Okay. In Excel, you can easily produce the map by using the Excel. Like in Excel, there insert under the insert tab, there include the 3D map. Only click the 3D maps. If there include the lat longs. Easily. Okay. Excel, these are the 3D map, and these, okay, like this way, like that. These are the points. So through the Excel, you may showing these maps also. And another option is that you may using the Google, like if these are the Chrome, if this is the Chrome, and Chrome, that the option is the map. That the options is the maps. So here also you may have to showing the map. And another option is that if you have the Google Drive, and Google Drive have there at the button is the My Drive. Under the My Drive, there the option is the more options. There the another option is the Google Maps. Okay. Then if the Google Maps, you click the Google Maps and import this Excel file. Import this Excel file and showing and growth center. Okay. These are also the maps. Okay. So I am showing you actually the map making of map representation by using the ArcGIS, QGIS, Google's, and Excel's. So map visualizations is not actually the big deals. These are the very simple things. These are the only the 10% to 20% weightage of the total process. Maximum process is the actually the technical know-how. Yeah. So by this way. So Alongir, now I may actually finish my speak because I am actually the lots of the slides.
Thank you so much, Hindul bhai. That was fantastic. I think every person have been happy. So now it will be open discussion and feedback. I expect from out of country, give me some feedback how to good in the next webinar. So please.
Sorry, I'm saying the sorry for actually the taking the more time. Yeah, I'm really sorry because these are the big presentations. Okay, thank you.
Good evening. This is Harun. May I
Yes,
say something?
yes.
Hindul bhai, thank you for your nice presentation. We able to learn many things from you. Actually, I was also work one ArcGIS for 3 or 4 years, long years from now. But my request to you especially, have you any information or idea about ARC 1, 2, 3? If you have any information, and then if you know about ARC 1 to 3, then we may arrange another webinar for ARC 1 to 3. That is a very familiar to collect online data. That is also free. May I know something about this? Though it is not directly, it's not for similar question, I think, or query. But I have interest to know if you have knowledge on ARC 1 to 3.
Hindul bhai, my network is not.
Your mic is not properly working.
My network is being problem. Hindul bhai, please respond
Yes.
according to a question.
Actually, I also actually I cannot actually hear it properly. Maybe the problem, but I understood that he said about the free data collection tools. Maybe the 1, 2, 3. Maybe the survey 1, 2, 3. Okay. Yes. There are the lots of the free tools. Yeah. Data collections. There are the lots of the free tools. Like the ONA, Kobo, ODK, survey, survey 1, 2, 3. Many. There are the obviously there are the many tools.
No,
And
Hindal bhai, I think survey 1 to 3 is payable and it's not free.
no, actually, not.
It's the RTS product.
These are the RGS product, but these are the not free. Actually, the one to use it level. Yeah, in personal levels like the then it is actually the free, like the one forms or
Student
two
mode.
forms.
Student mode may be free.
If it is payable, how we can get it?
How payable?
Its license is more expensive.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's all.
Actually,
Yeah, thank you.
Actually, I personally they used survey CTO licensed, ONA licensed. Kobo I used actually the free, ODK also the free, and actually the survey 1 to 3 not actually the in professional but in academic users I used. Okay.
Any question? Anyone? Any
I want to share something,
Yes.
if you permit, please.
Yeah, sure.
Please.
I am Harun Rashid. I don't know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who is he? I don't know, but I want to integrate my something with him. Hindal bhai, RGS survey 1 to 3 is another survey option. It is online platform and it is integrated with history. That previously you have permit me to access this account. I think if you have access in history, you can easily access it. RGS survey 1 to 3 and we can easily data collect, data analyze it. Thank you.
Yes, actually, you said about actually like in your actually the personal ISRI account need actually the $33. Yes.
Yes.
Under the $33, these are the personal levels. Yeah, these are the personal level. You are able to use the ArcGIS desktop, ArcGIS Pro, Survey 1, 2, 3, everything. Okay, but in the ethical perspectives, these are not actually the organizational account. These are the personal accounts. Okay, like so in organizations, every organizations like who are actually who are operating the USA Defense project, who are operating the European Commission project or DFID project, they actually the maintaining the data protection issues. So no one actually they using your personal account to to your on behalf of the union organization. For the reason you must be actually the purchasing. Okay.
Anyone? Any question?
Yeah, Alamguru bhai.
Yeah.
I have a question to ask a question to Hindal bhai, that if we want to track or want to see the changes or impact of a project or of an intervention, here we have got the opportunity to see the growth center data. Basically, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyone?
Actually, Hindal bhai showed the data pointing. Actually, how we can point the data, show the data. So how we can capture the changes? Hindal bhai, can you please give us a suggestion how we can see the changes? Actually, earlier you have mentioned about hand washing station. So if you want to see the changes, how many people's behavior have changed about the practices. So how we can capture this data, how we can represent the changes or changes of behavior. Thank you.
Hindal bhai.
Okay. Actually, these changes I actually showing my one slide that you need to actually the encoding the is non-spatial data with the spatial data. So in our actually the present systems, we collecting the different actually the changes informations through asking the different questions. How, when, and what are your actually the previous practice? What are now practice? How you know cap study? Many things we are actually the collecting. So actually the we collecting these information. That times we need to collect the special informations like the where his or her households, where they going to the markets, where they throw his waste, like the open drain or dustbin, or where he going to the their different actually the hygiene and latrine issues. Yeah. So this sort of the informations you will to the collecting like the if we collecting all those information and on after that you should actually the make the one conceptual framework develop. What do you mean by the changes? Changes means actually the maybe that these are the 5 domains. Yeah. So these 5 domains, if these 5 domains X, Y, Z, G, so if we actually the defining your changes and on the basis of the definition, you actually the pointing the some domain, and from domain you may make the some very or factors, and those if we collecting those information against those variables, on after that you may actually easily analyzing and showing the changes.
Okay, and thank you. Another question is, do you have a if you suggest us what kind of data attributes or what kind of data characteristics should be keep in mind during baseline or during the data collection, so that I can I can see the changes for quality data or quantitative data. Because most of time we work with lots of indicators. Most of them do not have. We may not have a scope to capture the data using GIS or latitude or longitudes. We can find out the places where it is occurring, where the intervention, the project interventing. So. Do you have any suggestion that this kind of data attributes should be keep in mind during baseline or during data collection? Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, during the project during the project initialization phase, you actually then need to know the different information. In my presentation, I showing they are the schools, they are the health facilities, they are the market facilities, they are the NGOs, they are the roads, they are the blah blah blah. So you should actually the making your actually the knowledge maps, and also the actually the change maps, also the your actually the options, your alternatives, your stakeholders, and where. All sort of the actually the informations you need to actually the collect initial levels, and also when actually the collecting information, this information should be actually the relationships, because in initial phase you may collect the many things, but in actually the when actually the passing the times you may actually the learn more about your project, about your target, about your strategy, about your challenges. When that times you need to actually the cook this information and realignment. Okay, you need, and on after that you may actually the make the this sort of the maps. Actually, for the reason I am actually the saying that actually 70% actually the weight factor is your actually the cognitive thinking, is how much you actually the foresee. So I am actually the putting I put my one slide in the double star upon the DSS and ESS, decision support system and executive support system. So those people are in your project who are actually the making the decisions. Those are actually the guidance, give you guidance, the strategic guidance. They know better where they will actually the run. Okay, so these sort of some decision makers, some policy makers, some your higher managements, like the some managers, some COPs or DCOPs, they may help you to making this sort of the actually the informations architecture. So when actually the making the architecture, that times actually the you incorporate your discussions, the who are actually the dream, those people or actually the strategic guide, they will actually help you. These information we may be using blah blah blah, so they may give them some idea. These are my response. Thank you.
Thank you. Hindul bhai. Just 5 or 8 minutes remaining. Hindul bhai, please close your screen share, and anyone will get opportunity up to 3 or 5 minutes. Any question? Just we will continue 5 minutes, and we will close after 5 minutes. Anyone, please? Hello. By this time, I will declare for next webinar. This is fantastic and interesting webinar. Are you showing this banner? Everybody?
We are seeing. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is the interesting webinar. Main title is interrelationship between strategy, implementation, and MEL, and subtitle opportunity and challenge. That will be fantastic, I think. So this is my announcement from my side. And anyone question to Hindul bhai, just 2 minutes, and we will close for a long time. We will for a long time here. Please, anyone. Otherwise, we will close. Anyone can from Nigeria or South Africa, please. I am expecting from out of country, out of Bangladesh. On man or on man. Would you say something or any question?
Hindul bhai, Harun bolchilam.
Okay.
Most of time we see that initiation of project we are said many things about the GIS and GIS, but after implementation phase or when we are exporting report or anything, then GIS map is not shown in this type of report. Maybe this is occurred with the shortage of human resource or anything. And I have a question to you that how we can convince our project management team lead or who are senior management to implement GIS type of activities.
Okay, Harun, thank you. Actually, these are the very tough and tricky questions, and I actually presenting the presentations many things actually the real work, not hypothetical words. Okay, so I did these things actually last my actually the 10 to 15 years in different projects and also the different organizations. So my actually the feeling is that people are not actually the convinced to spend the money because people don't know this domain. So for that reason, you should actually the projecting being a monitoring personnel or being a analyzer using the GIS tool, you may actually the projecting some prototype to using the GIS by your own end. And for that perspectives, as a analyzer or as a GIS analyst, you should actually maintain your own repository. Like in our younger age, we actually collecting the post ticket. Yeah, post tickets. So that's sort of the some informations you actually the collecting by your actually the box, and you actually the projecting sum. When actually the projecting sum, that times you actually the convincing them, you may actually the collecting these things, and on after that, and nowadays it is very easy because now every year actually the revising the project budget, project budget and activities and many things. So during the yearly planning, that times you actually the proposing your actually the needs, your needs, and for the reason you should actually the act very smartly and very with the very informatively. If you actually act by this way, then that times organizations or managements can give you the some resources and many resources. By this way, you may actually so these are my experience and by this way I am actually working at now.
Okay, thank you.
Even now, we cannot permit it to install this ArcGIS in office laptop, but the management want to visualize in GIS. I think most of management want to ask this type of map with free of cost.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you, Harun Bhai. Omobela, you will staying from the beginning here. Would you please your opinion about webinar? Omobela?
Hello.
Yes. Would you
Yeah,
say
it's
something?
been, yes, I'm so glad about this, and I wish I would be able to participate more about this. It's been, GIS is a new thing for me, and it's so good that I'm able to gain knowledge from people who are already experienced in it, especially in the M&E, and it's been wonderful, and I really wish that this could continue over time. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And anyone from other country?
Maksud Bhai from if
Yeah. হ্যালো, তো কিছু বলছেন?
বলছিলাম মাকসুদ ভাই কিছু বলতে পারে।
মাকসুদ ভাই শাহজাহান ভাইও তো ছিল মনে হয়। শাহজাহান ভাই কি, শাহজাহান ভাই আর মাকসুদ ভাই যদি কিছু বলার থাকে, কোনো পরামর্শ বা অপিনিয়ন? শাহজাহান ভাই আছেন?
Hello.
সালামালাইকুম ভাই।
Assalamualaikum. Excellent presentation. Very good idea. And it is exciting. We can use it for the data visualization and mapping and many purposes. Indul Bhai explained a lot of things, many experiences, many things. It is very difficult to track for us. So it is undoubtedly excellent. Thank you so much for the MEL. Is a new dimension of MEL field, and visualization is very important. And usually we have to do that sort of thing. And next time we can use this thing. We can talk with our management. I think this is one of the add value in our career as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much ভাই। মাকসুদ ভাইয়ের কোনো অপিনিয়ন বা ফিডব্যাক থাকলে ইমপ্রুভমেন্টের জন্য?
Thank you, Alamgir Bhai, for giving me scope to say something. Firstly, I would like to pay my gratitude to Alamgir Bhai and especially Indul Bhai for arranging today's session. This was really excellent. However, I expect after finishing this session, the participant, mostly there are many participants who would like to produce something. I mean, from today's session, they would like to produce some output. They maybe make communication with this platform. I hope we need to address some supporting system after finishing the session. If anyone seeks some support that he or she is producing something and facing some difficulties, so we need to address this. If we can address this, then this will be very fruitful for the participant to do something, and learning will be going to be in implementing phase. This is my expectation and suggestion. Thank you, Alamgir bhai. Once
থ্যাংক
again.
ইউ মাকসুদ ভাই। হিন্দুল ভাই, আপনি রেকর্ডিংটা অফ করেন না, আমি মাঝে মাঝে আউট হয়ে গেছিলাম। টোটাল রেকর্ডিংটা আপনারও আছে, যেহেতু হোস্ট হিসেবে আপনি আছেন, কো-হোস্ট হিসেবে মিউটটা একটু কাইন্ডলি পরে শেয়ার করেন রেকর্ডটা। হিন্দুল ভাই, আপনার আর কোনো অ্যানাউন্সমেন্ট না থাকলে আমরা শেষ করে দিই নাকি হিন্দুল ভাই?
Okay, okay.
Okay, thank you everyone for keep me here. Hope I will attend next webinar 10 June 2022. Have a nice night.